So we thought as it's piddling down a rain today, we would have the Sammy in the workshop and do a full service on her. Now, a lot of people call servicing a tractor very different things. Some people will say changing the oil is a service, but today we're doing a proper service. What you'd expect you to get from a dealer going through it with a fine tooth comb. Now we have Michael here, who is a seasoned service technician and has worked on many different brands of tractors. Am I right in saying that it's Zeta, Case, Massey, as well as every other brand you can probably think of?
Lamborghini. Yeah.
Oh, Lamborghini as well?
He's a technician, Lark. He's just a mechanic. So
He's a mechanic.
there's no point calling it anything fancy.
He's already going off on one, let's say. That's why I haven't given him a mic yet. So,
A mechanic.
so yeah. So how important is servicing a tractor? Well, that's a good question. As the more you service the tractor, the more you look after it, the more you maintain it, the better it will be. So let's give Mike a mic and find out what his opinion is on servicing and what's included. So then, Michael, what's your opinion on servicing tractors?
Well, the manufacturer will give you a service schedule. That's just the general guidelines, because a tractor could be in hot, arid, dusty conditions, could be in freezing cold, dry conditions. So you've got to tailor your servicing to your requirements. So they will suggest like 1,000 hours for transmission oil change and all the rest of it. But your transmission oil depends on what it's been doing. If you've been draying lots of different trailers with different manufacturers' tractors, you'll be getting oil contamination from trailers and all sorts of stuff that you can plug in and out. Whereas if you're just trundling around with your own gear, then you isn't going to get as much contamination. So you've got to tailor it to what you use it.
There we are. Really. That's some expert advice right there, eh?
Well, you know what an expert is, don't you? That's all I know, a drip under pressure. So.
All right, Michael's viewpoint on it. What's your first port of call when servicing the tractor?
Well, your engine oil is generally the first thing.
So drop your fluids.
Yeah, and one of the forgotten things is your antifreeze and your coolant, because it don't last forever. So you need to keep it topped up. When you've had your engine running for a little while and everything's warmed up, nice and fluid then, rather than a black sludge. Hopefully it isn't a black sludge.
Because the oil filter on it, I think he's around here, isn't he?
It runs a lot better if it's...
am I right in saying that's the oil filter right there, or is that a fuel filter there?
No, that'll be your oil filter.
That's oil filter, but he ain't been changed for a minute or two,
Don't look like he's been changed for a day or three, do it?
No.
Your fuel filters.
Fuel filter's there beside on that? Oh, up there, yeah. Another one inline one down there.
The inline ones, I prefer to have a plastic style one where you can see what's going through your filter. Purely because I'm a miserable sod and I don't necessarily agree with biodiesel. That seems to be the invention of the devil. When you say a full service, you really mean you're changing the whole fluid, all the fluids. In other words, you're changing your axle oil, your reduction oils, and your transmission oil and filters. Generally speaking, that's what I would term as a full service, whereas I suppose he's only really doing the engine, fuel filters, oil and filter, and then also check the rest of the fluid levels and blow out your radiators and stuff like that. So again, different terminology. One would say full service, which is only that little job, whereas I would say full service is the whole thing, like. And you have a lot of things now where they've got extended service intervals, which is very good in some respects, but when you're servicing, when it used to be like 250 hours for engine oil service, you'd be actually physically looking at the tractor. So you'd notice whether steering joints is getting worn or whether drive shaft's getting slack or all these sort of things. Well, if you extend your service hours and people's being pushed for time and that, they don't notice half of this stuff. So it's good in some respects, but bad in others.
Now we have already replaced the filter, haven't we? Is that one there?
Yeah,
which was done, well, less than a tractor hour ago when we replaced this whole gearbox. Mike stripped that out. Now I'll link that video at the end of this one when he stripped all of that out. Him and Max done a bit to it. And Mike done the most of it. We replaced all of the clutch how do you
Clutch plates.
Clutch plates, that's
Drive
it.
plates.
In the front PTO, so that's all been done. Anyway, let's get back to let's get on with engine oil, shall we?
Yeah, it seems like a good plan, doesn't it?
Getting the gear out of the day, look, we've got our Milwaukee boom light on the situation. But you're undoing a bolt on the side there, Mike, rather than on the bottom. I'd expect it to be on the bottom.
Yeah, well, you've got a prop shaft running through your sump, so you got one on the side, which somebody it would have been an Allen screw, but they've obviously had problems and they've welded a different style of fitting on.
Which I'd prefer a nut than I would an Allen screw any day, wouldn't you?
Well, it's got its place, but a lot of times it's not but a nuisance.
Especially if someone else has been there trying to maul it off before, I suppose. Let's see what the good stuff looks like then, shall we? Well, it's black and runny.
Certainly black.
He's got a second tub there already.
Yeah.
When we started one tub, you're running around to find a second one pretty quick.
Yeah, I got another tub because you need to do both sides because you've got a valley either side of your
Oh, I
shaft.
see how it works. Yeah. So we've got the little Milwaukee light there as well. Look now on this side. Oh, I see. So that's the original one there then, with an Allen bolt.
But he's been chewed about a bit by the look of things. No, that's just as a next resort. A bit more.
There we are.
Years ago, your oil filters used to be a paper element sitting within a metal canister,
Yeah.
which to my way of thinking is the most eco-friendly general way of doing things. But things change. Might be, just about right. It's all right when you're back in the workshop, you can wash the thing off when you've finished servicing, but when you're out on the farm somewhere and you've got dribbly old oil down over the side of everything, it's not quite so nice, is it?
No.
Right, well, so that's dribbling away. You can do your other bits and bobs.
Lovely. Suppose we better look in the box and see what we got.
Yeah, that sounds
So,
too carried away.
massive thank you to Cramp for continuing to support us. So that's the nice thing with Cramp is you can pretty much guarantee that they'll have everything you need for even a tractor which isn't, shall we say, as commonplace in the market. You know, good firm to work with. Ordered one day, here the next, but that was about 2 months ago when I planned on doing this video originally. There we are, Michael. We've got some, well, it's actually genuine SDF parts as well.
Sammy Dooch Far.
Yeah, original parts. I'll let you before I start.
That's probably the one I want for your engine.
Yeah, looks similar.
I haven't got an engine air filter.
No, that's Alex works too.
Yeah.
Still in the warehouse.
I wouldn't like it when Ryan was here.
Mike was just asking what date it was. I said, well, it's the 15th of April. You should know that because it's your birthday yesterday.
Yeah, you get
Everyone can wish Mike happy birthday in the comments.
You
Look.
get like that when you get older.
Forget birthdays altogether.
Aye.
So we are dating the oil filter. So at least someone's got a record of what's going on.
Needs a new pen by the look of things.
Can't get that in the budget, I'm afraid.
See what hours is as well. So I have to find another inline filter because that filter is an afterthought, isn't it?
Yeah, that one there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought we might have got some of that in stock, possibly.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
So here we go. What are you up to now, Michael?
Well, lubrication's the key to everything, isn't it?
Well, so wipe a bit of the oil over the rubber gasket to make it seal first time and then only time. So hand tight, how tight does that have to be, Mike? As tight as you can get it with your hands, I guess.
Depends if you're a gorilla or a wimp, doesn't it?
What would you describe yourself as? You gave
Wimpy
two options.
gorilla.
In the mist.
There, you can see that I didn't going to go any further.
No.
You don't want to have a strap wrench on there with a 6 foot bar,
No.
leaving it down, and you don't want to just screw it on so he's slack.
Yeah. Now I don't know if that was accident or on purpose, but look, once he's screwed in, look, look how level that date is on there. So it's still readable, it's not upside down. Was that deliberate or?
Oh, of course, deliberate.
We've got fuel filter up here then.
Okay, and you got a little water to drain off water, or if you're really good, you drain the diesel down before you take the filter off.
But when you're as talented as you are.
Talent, yeah.
The genuine one going back in, STF flip. I don't think there's a great deal of diesel in the whole tractor, if I'm honest.
No, there isn't a great deal. And there isn't, you haven't got no sludgy, gungy, rusty bits and bobs in top of the filter, so
No.
it's not so horrendous.
So would you, on a fuel filter then, would you wipe fuel around this rubber gasket as well?
You still give it a bit of lubrication, yeah.
Yeah.
That's got a slightly different, because that's a different style of filter. You've got a different style of seal, so
I see.
molded in together.
Yeah.
Whereas that's an old ring with another ring on the center.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they will come out and stick up on the housing, and then you don't notice it, and you've already got one on your filter. So then that causes, just make sure you haven't got one left up on the filter housing.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I haven't done a little bit of someone just to make it, yeah.
So do you date your fuel filter as well?
Yep.
What's that, a Donaldson filter on there then?
Donaldson, yeah, not a bad brand. Well, to be fair, he isn't that bad.
He ain't horrendous, is he?
And then you got another one in there, which is basically a safety filter, and that one's,
Inner and outer.
yeah, that's good.
Very nice. So that outer just needs a blow off then, does it?
Well, being a tight old sod and depending on what you're doing, I've just blown out.
You talking about me or yourself now?
Well, I think it applies both ways.
Where's your mask, Michael?
Well, as I come back to the old birthday, when you're an old fart, you ain't got that long to go anyway, so does it really make a lot of difference?
You lasted this long.
Yeah. On this one, you've got a little pipe on the bottom of your filter. A lot of times you'll just have a little rubber valve on the bottom,
Yeah.
and that'll collect any heavy stuff. So you just clean that off. But these, they've got a pipe which comes back to there. So you've got a little bit of vacuum in there, which drags any of the heavier dirt out, just expose it.
Yeah.
Whilst that's still dribbling away, I can check the coolant if I can get the cap off.
There's one thing we did replace was the top cover there, didn't we, when we first got them?
I really
That was missing.
can't remember, to be fair.
Did you do an antifreeze test on this then? You got your turkey baster right there, Michael.
Yeah, well, that one's a nice, easy one for somebody who hasn't got very good eyesight.
Oh, you got
Nice
your big balls.
big balls, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
On your balls on this one, it's if people make wine and that, they'll be familiar with these sort of devices. Just that the number of discs that float tell you the degree of frost that you can withstand.
So that means we're up to minus 15 then, is it?
Yeah, so I don't think it'll get minus 15 this week, so.
No, I think you'll be right.
But you know, it's getting a bit cloudy, so if you wanted to change it, it wouldn't be the end of the world. The antifreeze is also poisonous. Don't drink ethylene glycol. The fan belts, the drive belts, just tension wise. This one
So how would you rate the tension then? Because you can obviously get pullers, kind of like springs.
like your timing belts on car engines and that, you get spring balances and all in one to it, or you get a harmonic one which is basically goes by the sound of the belt as they run. But yes, they could do just a little bit of tightening up, because if you see that and I can turn the old fan with it.
So you shouldn't be able to turn the fan, in other words? No.
Right, this one hasn't got a viscous fan on, it's a fixed fan. So when your engine starts, the fan is going all the time. Some stuff will have viscous fans on.
So it turns on when it gets hot, in other words.
Yeah, they freewheel basically until they need that they sense the temperature's getting a bit warm, and then they firm up and start to drive more. Because either that or you go electric fans. But what you'll notice mostly will be your alternator will start squealing just after you've started, and if you need to swing some of it for a little while, the battery needs to be recharged more, so the alternator's trying to boost your battery back up, and then you'll find that you'll squeak for a while, and once you've got enough power in the back into the battery, the sweet will go away.
Right.
But this is just normal conventional with an alternator that you move the tension at. A lot of stuff now is gone, we flat belt, serpentine belts, so the belt will go round, water pumps and all sorts of air conditioners and whatever. Then you can check your oil on your reservoir there. You see it nice and pink.
So that's power steering, is it?
No, that'll be your brake.
Brake, sorry, yeah.
Again, you need to, before you top it up, you need to know what you've got in there. It isn't necessarily the normal, ordinary dot 3-4 style brake fluid. It could be ATF fluid, it could be mineral fluid like the citrons and that used. But that mineral fluid, the caps, is usually a green colour. It's not written in tablets of stone, but it gives you the indication that it is not standard brake fluid. And if you're an old soul that you don't mind dying, you can test it, and you'll test it brake fluid over anything else.
What does brake fluid taste like? Any good?
That's not recommended as a shot, but the worst stuff is if you can taste antifreeze. The ethylene glycol is a nice sweetener, so the sweeter it is, the more antifreeze you got. But if you go without organic acid compound, organic acid technology, that tastes absolutely horrendous. And they put the taste there to discourage people from drinking, because you've got all sorts of people now who don't drink anything.
And he's still dribbling on, but one minute he tells you that antifreeze is poisonous, the next minute he tells you that it tastes quite sweet. So it might make sense to why he's like he is, eh?
A bit like marriage, it's sweet to start off with.
I'll let you speak for yourself on that one. I ain't brave enough. I wasn't brave enough. I can only apologise, I ran him over. So he's down here, we're on the front axle now, Michael, is he?
Well, just having a look round.
We have put his mic back on because we found out we lost his mic just now, so apologise if the audio wasn't quite what it should have been.
Well, I don't expect half won't understand me anyway.
By the sounds of it, you've got a bit of a fan base following, and people like listening to you, Mike.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, they use it for bedtime stories, send them to sleep.
Do some audio books. Yeah, this one got brakes on the front.
Yeah.
Right.
So four-wheel braking on there.
Yeah. So that means that your oil in your reduction hub's got to do a lot more work.
So it'd be worth changing it then.
Well, so have a look in a minute.
Yeah. Oil drain plugs. Do we need to replace any washers or anything on them?
Well, I don't really think you're going to need to worry too much about that. Some will give you a copper washer or a sealing washer with your service kit, but if you ain't got it, it's not the end of the world. I would use them if they got them, but other than that, I wouldn't worry too much about it.
That's real world advice, that is. Not by the people in the book who say you've got to replace this and you've got to replace that. I agree with Michael on that one. What oil do we have then, Michael? 1540?
Yep.
Lovely. Cramp again. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. You may also notice that we are a mirror missing because we had a bit of fun with the hedge the other day. Well, I say we, Mike. But it turned out the brackets were seized anyway on both mirrors. So we've now got some lovely new mirrors. Try not to drop them while I'm showing them to you. Oh, hello. And yeah, but they're actually the genuine ones, which are slightly different size to the ones that were on there, but a proper SDF mirrors. Now they weren't from Cramp, quite possibly could have got them from Cramp, but they actually came from Blakewell Services in Barnstable, who are our local SDF dealer, and they had them on the shelf, ready to go. So yeah, proper. Thank you, Luke. So that is where the oil goes in then.
Yes.
Right above the oil filter. Hope you're using a bun there, Mike. Hope you're not going to spill it.
I can't afford to spill. Grind up dinosaurs.
Yeah. Dinosaur syrup.
I've never actually found one in there yet.
No? Not a little velociraptor
No.
claw or not?
Nothing.
No.
Not so much as a tooth.
It's probably all made up anyway. How many litres is that, Mike?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10 if my maths is right.
10. Looks about the same as what we've got in the buckets at the bottom.
Might need to top up a little bit. He's right on the top mark now, but
Yeah.
If you went over the top mark, it's not the end of the world because the filter's got to fill up.
Yeah, go settle in around where it's got to settle. So do you think, being that those front axles have got so much work to do then with the brakes, we should just drain them off anyway?
Well, so
Or just make a view on it?
have a look and see what it's like first. But if you lean in over the top, about halfway down the reduction of burials, here's a plug.
Yeah.
That's your level plug there. So see if I can crack that one off.
Let's see what happens.
And I'll get rid of her.
Do you want me to leave you there for a minute while you crack one off?
Yeah, it'll take a minute or two.
You got them undone, have you?
Eventually, yeah, it's prepped up, gorilla tight.
Now what type of oil goes in there, Mike?
Well, because you've got wet brakes and that in there, you can put in the same as what would be in the gearbox, so it's like a super universal oil.
Oh, okay.
Because you've got the brake in.
Suto.
Yeah. Well, that actually don't look that bad.
All right.
Bit of a crude way of looking at it, but
What's the level like?
just about right.
Oh, nice.
So I don't think I'd worry too much about that.
If Mike's happy, we're happy.
Well, you isn't thrashing up and down the link road with a trailer load of Swedes or whatever behind, is he?
Right, I'm off to order a trailer load of Swedes.
I'll
Did you
check
say
them.
blonde ones?
Blonde ones, yeah.
Blonde Swedes.
Yeah. Of the female variety. I don't want the male blonde.
not Swede heads.
No, not Swede heads, no. As long as they... I can't say that.
No. Sometimes we've got to hold ourselves back. Now, one person did say that I wasn't very humorous on our videos here back along, and it's probably because my sense of humour is rather dark, similar to Mike's. So it's easier not to try and be funny, because otherwise I'll probably get in a lot of trouble. But there we are, never mind. Oh, there he is, Michael. Cracking off.
A little bit tight.
Oh, look at the cardboard here, look. If he's not writing on it, he's dribbling on it.
There again, you can see a nice...
Oh yeah, cool.
No, can I be quick enough?
So what's the telltale sign of that oil being good then?
For me, is I don't have to buy any more oil, but if it's dark, got any glittery bits in there, or just smells burnt, then it's time to
Change it on.
replace it, yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
But then that does look pretty nice and clean and
Well, then-
healthy, doesn't it?
the purist would probably say change it, but he isn't paying for the oil, is it?
But the realist is us.
Yeah, well, next thing on the list is level plug for the actual axle,
Oh, I see, yeah.
because that's just covers the reductions on your brakes that side. Mm-hmm. Would be nice to have it just there
On the front, nice and handy.
But no, he's behind you, just underneath the hydraulic ram.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Somewhere about
Yeah.
there.
Level then on the front axle, same principle. That's a level mark, is it?
Yeah, well, as a general rule of thumb, gearboxes, axles, reductions, sort of halfway up the casing. So, in this case, the casing is that, so about halfway up. Mm-hmm. And if you match it to the other side, that'll be about right.
So that's the front axle done then, Michael.
Yeah, just check the level on that one.
Let's see, next pour of coolant.
Huh?
Next pour of cool.
Oh, so we'll do the hydraulic filters.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll get another bucket just to catch the oil.
Lovely. Having fun of them there, Mike.
Oh, that one's got 3 there.
Got 3, I think.
Yeah.
Ah.
If it's only got 2.
Phone the number 3. Really lovely and easy to get to, Michael.
Well, they isn't too bad.
Once you're in here.
Yeah, well, they didn't. The old tractor's fairly clean, so you didn't cover it in cack, isn't it?
No, it is true. Sludgy.
Yeah. It's up to you, but if you buy a vehicle, I'd go give it a good service to start off with, then you know where you're starting from.
That was the plan when we got it. Just drop those 3 and put them back on again, in other words?
Yeah, and check your oil
Yeah.
level.
Make sure you put the right filter back in the right place, I guess.
Well, I always It's like anything else. When the storeman picks their filters and all the rest of it, they think they got the right ones, and sometimes you get out on the farm and it isn't quite like that. So before you get yourself all covered in oil on doing filters, just make sure you got the right. Try to make sure you got the right ones. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yep. Beautiful.
So there's our old filters out. Condition of the oil, Michael?
I would probably change it, to be fair.
It's got that way, is it?
It's looking a little bit darker.
Yeah.
Some oils are cut, yeah. Right, your standard oil like us been using is just oil coloured.
Yeah.
Some manufacturers will use different coloured oils, which is just their thing. Like you can get different coloured greases. Oil looks a little darker than I would generally like. It isn't horrendous, but
So is that a plug in the bottom there beside the filter where the filters were then to change that?
you can do it that you can undo it via plugs and such like, but because you're scrolling, it's like doing the filters. It's a bit of a pig of a job, so I don't bother with that as much. I usually pump it out through the trailer services and then drain the last little bit out from underneath, or else you're messing about with buckets and cans. And
So how would you drain it out of the...
well, an old hydraulic pipe, plug it into your services. Better if you've got a tap on, and then you lock your spool lever back so he's pumping. Get back here, stick that in your drum, turn your tap on, oil comes out. Fill your drums up until you can't get any more oil out, then turn it off, and then
So as long as nothing's moving, that's all right then.
Then you get in underneath and you can take your final, because there'll be quite a few litres of oil in the back end of a tractor.
Yeah.
You know, because you can imagine you've got to have a fair bit to tip on your rams and that, on your trailers and that. Mm. And if you're doing it all from underneath,
There's a lot of buckets.
a lot of buckets and potential for getting covered in oil in it.
True. So that's all the fluids and everything done, Michael.
Yeah.
Now I suppose what else have you got to check over?
So you've got your lights and that to check, make sure all that works. You got grease it all up. You would, if you've got the gear to do it, just jack your wheels off the ground. Make sure your wheel bearings, steering joints, and things like that's all in good order.
And we've got cab suspension on this one, haven't we?
You got a couple of springs and a panhard linkage. I think that's what you call them. You got a couple of springs there, and then you got. You can't see it very well, but there is a linkage that goes across to keep everything trued up. Mm-hmm. And it's just a matter of looking at the bushes and just the feel of things.
So everything else is all sort of visual inspection, really.
Yeah, well, that comes back to my argument. If you extend your service periods, nobody's actually looking at these things. Mm-hmm. And then you've got your grease nipples to go around. Just make sure your level, stuff is just working. It isn't necessarily strictly in the service side of things, but it's whilst you're merry, you might as well do it. Make sure your crook latches and that work. That's really about it, I would have thought.
As Mike just said, there's probably other bits you do going around the tractor, like obviously tightening wheel nuts and everything, checking all of those. Now, this video has probably gone on for quite long enough for this tractor service, but what I'd like to know in the comments is, would you like to see Mike do anything in particular? Like, would you like him to see how he checks the wheel bearings on the front, or how he looks at the cab suspension to see if that's all working? Any in particular videos you'd like the knowledge of this man here to be divulged into video form? Because we can do it, we can sort that out. As I said, Mike's going to go around now and do all those bits and pieces and everything on the tractor. Lights, check the brakes, check the wheel nuts, check everything else he just said, linkage, grease everything. Yeah, let us know in the comments if there is anything in particular you'd like to see him do, or how he does it, and we'll go from there. But hopefully this video has been useful for someone and given a little bit more insight. We know we've got a lot of youngsters and everything who watch the channel, so it'd be good to show them what is involved in a service. So I thought that might be quite useful. Anyway, let us know in the comments and we'll see you in the next one. Cheerio, bye.